Buying lands in Epe now is dangerous. Most of the lands in Epe now have been acquired by the Lagos state government. There is a new policy in Epe where all untitled lands are now under NTDA, that is New Towns Development Agency, called Epe Mixed Development Scheme and the Labour City. Many estates sold to thousands of subscribers by real estate companies in Epe have been reclaimed by a Lagos state government without compensations. Over 200 estates and counting have been recently demolished and taken over by Lagos State and NTDA. If you've bought a land in Epe previously, either by privately or through real estate company that did not have a certificate of occupancy, governor's consent or excision, be very worried and scared because Lagos State and NTDA will most certainly now come after that land. This is a danger of buying land without verifying the status and purchasing land without any verified government title. Many people who bought lands in Epe due to false and aggressive marketing tactics employed by many real estate companies and agents in Epe were persuaded by phrases like excision in process, C of O in view, governor's consent in process, contract of sale, etc. These terms are misleading at best and fraudulent at worst. And now have made most people lost millions of naira, including life savings. To further complicate matters, the Lagos state government has issued an executive order that suspends all land title processing in Epe. The key provisions of this order include that all land allocations in Epe must now go through the NTDA. Regularization of titles via Lagos State Lands Bureau and the Office of the Surveyor General are no longer permitted. Registered surveys for Epe properties can no longer be lodged at the Office of the Surveyor General. The government has also reclassified many privately owned lands as commercial properties, making things worse. If anyone is marketing land to you in Epe right now, other than NTDA, run, unless you are buying trouble and pain for you and your family. Now, this is the write-up from Omonile Lawyer, and I will send the link by one of the viewers on my channel who has bought real estate in Epe, Lagos, Nigeria. And he sent this, and I had to go through it. So when I read it, I did not know how to react because I was writing up a story, though educating, but also very misleading. And I've decided to explain all the activities happening in Epe right now. Stay to the end of this video and you'll get the full gist. I remain Patrick, your Lagos Realtor. Like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and also turn on your notification button so that you get informed when we drop a new content like this one on this channel. If you're a first-time viewer, go through our contents. See our contents, you'll definitely make wise investment choices buying real estate. You will not buy anyhow. You will not buy problems, and you would not even be in this situation. So when we get back, we'll be looking at this write-up critically, and I'll be explaining and exposing to you the truth in all of this and what is also untrue for you to dispel. First is first. What is NTDA? And NTDA has been at the center of everything happening in Ibeju in the past 5 months. It has all been NTDA. NTDA this, NTDA that. Now, what is NTDA and what do they do? Now, NTDA is simply the New Towns Development Agency. And this is an agency of the Lagos State government whose primary duty is to develop new towns for the government. Now, to put it in a very simple way, NTDA is the developer of properties or the developer of estates for the government. So it is a government agency saddled with responsibility of developing and also managing government estates. So if the government is to set up new estates or new towns in a particular place, NTD is that agency that is saddled with that responsibility. Now, so what is all of this coming out from a pair with NTDA in the story every time? So would be taking Omodile's lawyer write-up paragraph by paragraph, so you understand that we can spot out what is true and what is very, very untrue. From the very first paragraph, you would see, you would read that most of the lands in Epe now have been acquired by the government. There is a new policy in Epe where all untitled lands are now under the NTDA, called the Urban Mixed Development Scheme and the Labor Scheme. Now, there are two false assertions in this paragraph. Two false assertions. Now, for those of you who are subscribers on this channel, I made a video last December about the acquisition happening in Epe right now, because we had a stakeholders meeting with NTDA, and it was at the meeting they informed us about the development and what is coming in Epe. And it was after that meeting I now got real information, and I put out that video for all of you to see. So many reactions came after I posted that video. Some persons were happy, some persons were not happy, but I had to do it. I think it is moral that if we ask you to buy real estate, we also, when we see things that would affect your investment, we also tell you. And that was why I put out that video for. So for so many people that were not happy, I put out that video. I am sorry. I had to do it for my clients. I had to do it for my investors. So they had to be very careful in testing in Epe, because I would not see what is bad and keep mute and allow all of these guys to fall into all those traps. So I had to make that video at that time. So I did it solely with the interest of my investors at heart. So that is that about that. Now, the first thing wrong in this first paragraph is the use of most. That is, most of the lands in Epe now have been acquired by Lagos State government. The truth is that at the NTDA meeting, we were told that 3 new schemes will be coming to the Ibeju-Lekki axis, and they are the Epe Mixed Development Scheme and the Labor City Scheme. And we're told that the first phase of the scheme would take up 7,781 hectares of land. Now, if anybody must use most, it simply should be that more than 51% of the land will be acquired by the government. Say, for instance, we have 100 lands or 100 plots of lands. And if the government take over 51 plots, we can see that the government has taken most of the land. So that will be the right use of most. Now, the government has taken over 7,781 hectares. We don't know what the second scheme will take. But right now, less than 8,000 hectares of land has been taken by the government. And if you check online, you'll see that the land mass of Epe is about 1,185 square kilometers. 1,185 square kilometers. And when you convert 1,185 square kilometers to hectares, you would have 118,500 hectares of land. So right now, Epe has 118,500 hectares of land. The government has acquired 7,781 hectares. This is not up to 10% of the total land mass of Epe. So the use of most is deceptive and very, very wrong. That is the first thing. The second assertion from the first paragraph is that all the lands, all untitled lands, have been taken over by NTDA under the scheme Epe Mixed Development and Labor City Scheme. That is also wrong, because these particular names would cover just 3 schemes, not the whole land in Epe, not the whole untitled lands in Epe. So that is also very, 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 very wrong. Moving forward, many estates sold to 1,000 subscribers by ASA companies in Epe have now been reclaimed by the Lagos State government without compensation. Now, there's a truth here, and the truth is that there were a series of demolition in Epe close to the end of 2024. Serial demolition in Epe, and I made a video when that was happening. I informed everybody so you'll be aware of where to buy and where to run away from. So his assertion in the second paragraph has some truth. Now, it went further to say there will be no compensation for the demolished and the acquired properties. That is perfect. That is true. Anytime the government acquires untitled land, the government does not pay compensation. The time the government compensates you is when you have a title on that particular land. Now, this also reiterates the noise we've always been making, that if you have a property, or if you buy an untitled property, you perfect the title. And I remember 3-4 years ago, I was shouting with some of my colleagues that properties on the express, you see, the properties on the express, lands on the express are juicy land. They are always in high demand. And the government also loves this kind of land. So if you should check the history of lands that have been acquired by the government, most often than not, they are lands that face the express. So we knew as at then, that was why myself and some of my friends, my colleagues, will tell you, don't buy lands facing the express, untitled land facing the express, don't buy. And if you want to buy, make sure they are freehold. And if they are freehold, make sure you perfect. Because these are the kind of properties that interest the government. So there's a truth in the second paragraph that demolition happened, that this demolition would happen without compensation because they are entitled properties. Let us go on. A third paragraph. If you have bought land in Epe previously, either privately or through a real estate company that did not have a certificate of occupancy, governor's consent or excision, be very worried and scared, because Lagos state government will most certainly now come after that land. Now, this is untrue. This is untrue. The time you need to be worried is when the land you bought is a committed land. The time you need to be worried and be scared, the way you said it, is when you bought committed properties. Now, if you've not bought committed lands, you don't have to be worried and to be scared because you do not have a title on your property. Now, there are areas tagged as freehold in Lagos, Nigeria. And some of these freehold lands are owned by the families, the bales, the traditional families, and all those. Now, the government is not stupid to take up every land in Epe. If the government takes up every land in Epe, then where will the indigents stay? And this is not true because traditional families hold lands as freeholds and they settle on some and sell others. Now, if you don't have a CFO, if you don't have a governor's consent, if you don't have whatever title or property, if your property does not fall under the acquired land, once the government is done with all these acquisition processes in Epe, you can perfect your land. This was what we were told at the stakeholders meeting. So towards the end of his write-up, you would see when I said all title perfections in Epe has been put on hold. Yes, for the time being, once they are done with all the acquisitions, the portal will be open for title perfection. So what his write-up will do to you as a property buyer in Epe is to instill fear in you. I would rather prefer it that it asks you to take caution in investing in real estate, but the reverse is the case. It is rather instilling fears in those who have bought properties in Epe in the past. But what you should know as property buyers is that if you've bought rightly conducting due diligence, you don't have to be scared. Yes, acquisitions are going on in Epe right now, and in a very short time it's going to be concluded, and once it's all concluded, we will be sure of the areas that have been acquired by the government and the areas that are free. Properties on the express road have higher chances of being acquired by the government in the areas already marked. But let's keep our fingers crossed and hope we don't get affected. So not all properties in Epe is going to be acquired. Not all untitled lands in Epe, Lagos, Nigeria belongs to the NTDA and falls under the Epe Mixed Development Scheme and the Labour City Scheme. No, only the acquired properties, only the acquired lands fall under this scheme. All of those are malicious assertions, but it is true that acquisition is ongoing in Epe, Lagos, Nigeria. It is true that title perfection has been put on hold in Epe, Lagos, Nigeria at this time to be reopened when all this is done. Let's keep our fingers crossed and trust me to bring you more information as events unfold in Epe, Lagos, Nigeria. I remain Patrick, a realtor. Like our videos, subscribe to the channel, and also turn on your notification button so that every time I drop a new content on this channel, you will be notified. Until we see you again, stay safe, keep investing in real estate, and be peaceful.